Hi, everyone. So before we let the race begin, so to speak, I just want to give you a quick overview on the services that we're going to be using for the purpose of today's lab, right? And basically what each of them brings to the table and what each is comprised of, right? So with that being said, this is just to give you a global view on how they come together. Those two main services that we're going to be using are the Autonomous Data Warehouse, which is going to be covering the machine learning side of things, right? And essentially, data is at the heart of machine learning. And we have almost 70 years worth of data in this practice. So it definitely makes sense to have that data warehouse to store the data in. And then the second service, which is the Oracle Analytics, this is going to be our visualization platform, right? Before jumping into machine learning, there's a lot of, let's say, qualifying, to use the term correctly, that has to be done in the back end for the data to be ready to be used for machine learning purpose. So visualizations help kind of move things along in that regard. So we're just going to dig a bit deeper into each of those services, and starting off with the Autonomous Data Warehouse. So what is the Autonomous Data Warehouse? It is essentially Oracle's latest database version running on infrastructure that is primed for analytical processing, right? That is its main purpose. One of the main features is that it has automated data management. So it intelligently, automatically configures, tunes, updates your data warehouse without any manual intervention. And with that, you eliminate the possibility of human error, right? So you have more time to focus on what you need to achieve rather than the management side of things. You are guaranteed consistent high performance because of the automatic table indexing and tuning, and also the ability to auto scale. So with auto scaling, you actually get an increase in compute as well as IO, up to 3 times the initial amount, just to satisfy the needs of the workload. And then it goes back down accordingly when not in use. With that, you suffer no downtime at all. And that's a huge advantage, right? Typically in that scenario, you definitely would have to suffer downtime. You also have the comprehensive data privacy and protection because data is always encrypted, whether in transit or at rest. And the patches are automatically updated for you as well, so you're guaranteed security. And last but not least is that it is a complete solution that has built-in analytics, right? There are built-in machine learning algorithms that are provided for you, along with graph analytics and spatial support. So we are truly empowered to make use of the data warehouse, right? And typically with these large amounts of data, there is an issue if you have to move the data to an analytical platform. But in this case, we're moving the analytics, the machine learning to the data right on top of the data. And then we can start to visualize those insights at a later point in time, right? So you're guaranteed reliability and security in one shot, in one single place. So next we move on to the Oracle Analytics. And I like to think of this as a one-stop shop, right? Sort of like a mall, where in a scenario you need to run some errands, you need to do some grocery shopping, do some transactions at the bank, get some stuff from the pharmacy, drop your kids off at nursery while doing all these things. So in a typical scenario, you'd have to go to all of these different places. You spend time, effort, money. But with the option of a mall, you get to do all of this from one single place. And this is the same idea when it comes to Oracle Analytics, right? You can start to connect your data from a variety of sources, whether they may be databases, Excel sheets, CSV files. You can then start to prepare or modify that data. Maybe you want to do some semantic modeling as well. You are truly enabled to do that. And then you can start to explore that data through the different visualizations that OAC has to offer, as well as some machine learning capabilities as well from OAC side with one-click advanced analytics, right? Once you're satisfied with your content, with your dashboard, then you go ahead and share that content, either by exporting it in, let's say, PDF or PowerPoint format, or even better yet, you can actually embed that content into web applications or mobile applications. And regardless of the type of user that you are, so technical, not too technical, whatever it may be on the grand spectrum, you are truly empowered to make full use of the the features that OAC has to offer, right? And whenever we specifically mention the term machine learning, one starts to think, well, that needs someone technical, right? You need some programming expertise like Python or SQL. But what Oracle Analytics really has to offer is that you don't need any of that, because it's just that simple, right? And from there, you can preach your heart's desire, really, and the sky is your limit. So I hope that's given you a really good idea of what the services have to offer, what they're about, and happy racing.